Take it away.
All right. Well, first of all, happy Halloween to everybody. We trick-or-treating in the Hood family tonight?
Absolutely.
What are we dressing up as?
Mario and Luigi.
Mario and Luigi. Larry?
Coach who just broke his foot recently.
A coach who just broke his foot recently. That's what we're dressing up as? Okay. All right. We
going to Tyler from Spartanburg.
Who's going as Dabo from Pelham, Alabama? Who's going to dress up as that? There might be a couple of them. I don't know. You doing any trick or treating tonight? You got kids come by the house or anything?
I keep my lights off.
Oh my gosh!
I'm one of those.
You're one of those. Just don't give out peppermint. You know, there's nothing worse. You walk around with the pillowcase. You know, as a kid, and we used to hit everywhere, and they give out the little candy corn and the peppermint, and you'd be like, oh my gosh! And you go to those. You knew where to go because you knew they were handing out the Snickers and the Baby Ruths and the Reese's cups. That's where you want to go. And then you come home, you dump it all out, and then you'd go again. Maybe change costumes so they wouldn't know it was the same person coming back. It's not like there was a lot of houses to go to. So anyway, I hope everybody has a happy Halloween. Couple things. First of all, before the game, as he mentioned. This is a big week for us. This is Paul Journey week, and so it's something we kind of have an initiative all throughout the week. As y'all know, it's a huge part of our program, and just a couple things to really highlight. First of all, what is the vision of Paul Journey? It's very simple. We want to produce first-class men and world-class leaders. Our mission is through sacrifice, truth, and discipline. Paul Journey will love and celebrate our young men as they become the first-class men and world-class leaders that we are trying to develop. Our values are humanity, work ethic, independence, excellence, and servant leadership. And it's basically that's what Paul Journey is. It's a leadership initiative. It's built on 4 pillars: striped, see you in life, fifth quarter, and overtime. And they're all really, really important. Striped is about personal growth. See You in Life is about life skills, community service. Fifth quarter is about career and professional development. And then overtime is about former player engagement and development. So Paul stands for passionate about winning. It is a lifestyle of winning, and we want to cultivate our young men in this program. It's not life after football, because life is happening right now. That's what we try to talk about all the time. Who you will be, teaching these guys that the man makes the brand. They're football scholar athletes. They're not just football players. That's something that we're passionate about here. It's about getting them to stand on their own 2 feet. When they walk out of here, it's a culture of invitation. We give the Man of the Month, Man of the Year award every single year. And, it's all about, building great future men, husbands, leaders, citizens, fathers, you name it. And just some superlatives in the impact. We've had 131 Paul Journey ambassadors. This is a process. They have to apply. They have to have a resume. They have to have recommendations. It's a process. It takes a lot of work on their part to be a Paul Journey ambassador. We've got 90 alumni, 41 current players as well. 98% graduation rate since I've been the coach. We've been service abroad trips in Haiti, Costa Rica, Thailand. We have over 740 hours of community service that's been completed just in 2023. We have had 100% career placement from 2018 to 2023, 100%. That's something that we're really proud of. And a big part of what we do is our micro internships. Rashard Hall really does an amazing job with that. And we've had micro internships worldwide: South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Montana, California, New York, Wisconsin, Florida, D.C., Missouri, Nevada, Tennessee, India, and we've had a few go over to Europe. In the past year, over 360 former players and Clemson football alumni have come back to Clemson to give back to the current players and to keep the bond strong. We have current NFL captains: Grady Jarrett, DJ Reader, Trevor Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominees that we've had that have come through our Paul Journey program: Dwayne Allen, Bradley Pinion, Grady Jarrett, DJ Reeder, Tyler Shatley, and Tremaine Ankrum. And so, just really, just some things about Paul Journey that we kind of highlight, and we've got a little something we're doing each and every day. And again, it's something we work hard on. And just want to say thanks to Jeff Davis, first of all. What an amazing job that he has done. Really from day one. I mean, the day I became the interim coach, I went home for just a little bit, and I went next door and knocked on his door and laid out a vision to him on kind of what I would want him to do if I got this job. And man, he's been here every step of the way. And he went from a one-man shop and really trying to help create the vision to creating Paul Journey, which is it's a holistic approach to the student-athlete development. And man, what an amazing job he's done. And Rashard Hall, and Joel Davis and Kayla Owens and Anton McLean and Reggie Pleasant, all of our staff and Paul Journey. I mean, they do an amazing job because, there's a lot going on for these guys. And the one thing that we're passionate about is, truly equipping them. And living out the purpose of this program, which is to graduate them, to equip them as men, to make sure they have a good experience, and that they win a championship. And over the last 15 years, we've done a pretty good job of that. So really proud of the young men that have come through this program and all that's going on with Paul Journey. And so there'll be stuff going on all week. It'll culminate. We'll have a little banquet, appreciation dinner on Thursday night with some of the Paul Journey donors. So with that, we'll move on to the game. I mean, it's a really good football team. I think they're the most complete team we've played. I know they're not undefeated, but I think it's the most complete team we've played. It's a really, really experienced team, very, very experienced veteran group. They really have, all the pieces, everything you need. They're sound. They're well coached on both sides of the ball and special teams. It's a game we really stunk in last year. Honestly, it was our worst game of the year. We played awful. And it started out with a block punt. We busted an assignment on a three-man shield there, and block punt score. And just played. It was just terrible. So thankful for another opportunity to go compete. But this is a really, really good football team. And I think we're a good football team as well. We just have not been able to do what we need to do. And, that's the reality of where we are. But we got another opportunity this week, and, it's going to be a big challenge. It starts with being able to stop the run, being able to be gap sound because, what they do formationally with their formations, their bunch sets, their motions, they create extra gaps. So we got to be really disciplined. Our linebackers and secondary got to tackle well. And then offensively, they're gonna challenge you. We've got to be able to get some run game going. You got to make plays. They should have won the Ohio State game. I mean, it's crazy how they lost that game. But it's a tough football team again. That they're fun to watch on tape because they do a lot of good things that you got to do well to give yourself a chance in football. And then obviously their quarterback. I mean, he's a pro. He's pro. I mean, you watch him play, it's like, it's just, that guy shouldn't be playing college football. I mean, he's a pro. I mean, he is smooth. He's poised. He's very confident. He don't flinch, and I've seen him for 10 years now. So I got a real good understanding of who he is and a lot of respect for him. He's a great kid. But he's pro. I mean, this guy's a really, really good football player, and the game is slow for him. He does a great job of managing the game. He knows where everybody's at. He can really, really run. He doesn't get enough credit for his ability to run and extend plays. I think they're outstanding at running back. He averaged about 5.6 a carry on us last year, so he's a tough, physical, downhill runner, but they got 3 or 4 guys that they're playing in there. I think the receivers, that's probably been the most improved part of their team. I think they've gotten better and better throughout the year. They moved one of the running backs, Tyree, they moved him to slot. And that's been a good move for him. I mean, he's an explosive guy. He's got, probably the second most receptions. They obviously lost the tight end. I think he was leading them in catches, but Tyree's a really good player, 83, 17. 13, the kid that's going to take 88's place is a good player, but all starts up front with him. Really good group up front. Left tackle's probably a first-round pick. He's a very good player, but really all of them. It's a very experienced group. I think they're all fourth-year players and graduates and et cetera. So be a good matchup there. And then over on the defensive side, same thing. Really physical, veteran linebackers, veteran guys up front. Got a lot of respect for how they play, especially 56. His dad and I were at Alabama together. Howard Cross, his dad was finishing up my freshman year at Alabama in '88, and then his dad, Howard, was a tough physical tight end, went on and played about 10, 11 years for the Giants. And watching his son, he's tough. He plays with his hands well. He's physical. But all those guys up front get after you. And got great linebackers. Really good at corner as well. Probably first-round type draft pick there at corners also. So really good front and a good football team. And it'll be a game that if we turn the ball over, it's going to be a long day. We lead the nation in fumbles. And if we didn't lead the nation in fumbles, we'd be 8-0 if you didn't change anything else on our team. And we've had chances to overcome the fumbles. Even with that, we've had some moments to still win, and we hadn't been able to quite overcome it. So we got to find a way, somehow, some way, to grow up and grow through it and put our best foot forward. Looking forward to the fight, looking forward to the challenge. Hope everybody will show up in the Valley and get behind these guys. Season ain't over. We got 4 more games, and we're going to fight our butt off to finish the very best we can and grow our team. Any questions?
Coach, you mentioned last year's game. You said that they just out-physical to you.
Yep.
Has that been a sticking point all week?
Yeah. All year. It wasn't much. That was the easiest press conference I've had. Wasn't much to say after that one. We got what we earned. We got our teeth kicked in.
You mentioned their receivers, Chancey Stuckey, guy that you know really well. Did he surprise you at all to see them playing well?
No. I told you, Chancey was one of my favorites here. He was the backup quarterback, and I kind of recruited him for my first year and a half here. I stayed in his ear. I'm like, look, Charlie Whitehurst has 3 more years, man. Come on. And I'm like, look, Chancey, you're not going to play in the NFL at quarterback. You're 5'10" or whatever. And I'm like, if you'll give me 2 years, I'm telling you, you're going to make the NFL. And he finally relented, and he made the move. I think he led this league a couple years in a row in receptions and ended up having about a 5-year career in the NFL. And then went on with his life. He was an actor. He was in whatever. And then he ended up getting called to the ministry. He's an amazing story. He really is. But we're playing in the national championship. Just so you know, we have done that, recently. It was January of 19. It wasn't 35 years ago, but January of 19, we were out in California, and and Chancey reached out. He was in the ministry, and I think he was 30. I think he was 36 or 37. He's 40, so he was about 36 or 37, and he wanted to come meet with me at the hotel. Now, I hadn't seen him in a while, so he came over to the hotel the day before the game, and he just said his heart was calling him to coaching. He's never coached a day in his life, and he just wanted. I said, well, it's going to be hard. I said, well, here's the deal. If you really want to coach, you need to figure out if you really want to do it. Everybody thinks they want to coach, but you need to figure it out. I said, here's the only opportunity I got. I got a video GA spot because he was too old to be a GA, and I said, but I got a video GA spot. You're going to have to be in grad school. And I said, and what that'll do is that'll give you a year to figure out if you really want to do it and what it's all about, because you don't even know what you don't know. There's a lot more than just, what you see on Saturday. So he came in here and, I watched him early. He was a captain here. He's a great player. But I told him, I said, early on, if you will give me 2 years, if you'll really commit 2 years to just learning the processes and all the things that you need to equip yourself. I said, man, you're gonna go fast in this business. And so he was a video GA, and 2 years, all of a sudden I get a call from Dave Aranda out of the blue, and he just says, look, I'm looking for a wide out guy. You got anybody? I said, you know what, I do. And I called Chancey. I said, hey, man. And so we talked about the interview process. He was scared to death, and you know, guys never run a room, never recruited, been in football for a year and a half, and he gets hired to go be the receiver coach at Baylor. And 1 year later, I'm getting a call from Tommy Reese, and he's like, hey, can you talk to me about Chancey Stuckey? And I'm going, what's going on? And you know, and we talk about Stuckey, and next thing I know, he's at Notre Dame. So he's gone fast, and proud of him. Yeah, he's already texted me this week. You know, but really proud of him. He's, like I said, one of my favorites that I've had come through here, and it was a blessing to coach him, and I'm really proud. It's fun to see. I got a ton of guys in coaching that I've coached as receivers. I got guys all over the place that are coaching college ball, coaching high school ball, that have been receivers for me in particular, but also former players now since I've been a head coach. And I'm proud of all those guys. I'm really proud of him and you know what he's done for them.
How has Hartman fit them? How have they fit him? How are they using him comparable to how he played at Wake Forest, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, they're different scheme. I mean, it's, you know, it's still a run-based offense as far as you know that goes, but it's not a slow mesh or anything like that. I mean, he's a little more clean in the pocket, I guess I would say, you know, as far as, you know, whereas obviously at Wake Forest you got a lot of RPOs and a lot of mesh, and I mean there's a lot of shrapnel flying around all the time, and I think that's one of the reasons he's just so, I mean, like, he don't flinch, like nothing bothers him, but because I think that's just kind of his norm, you know, with what they did at Wake Forest. I mean, he's a very poised guy. He was obviously really well coached at Wake Forest. I mean, I think they do a great job of coaching and teaching, and but probably just you know, cleaner in the pocket is just true play action. You know, there's, as opposed to slow ride and stuff like that. A lot of boots. You know, really strong up front, and you know, do a good job in taking shots down the field and give, you know, play action shots and things like that. Get him out of the pocket. He's a good football player. I mean, it's like watching a pro. It's like watching an NFL guy playing college football. I mean, the game is really slow to him. Good player.
Coach, I'm sure the last thing you're thinking about right now is playing Stanford next year, but the ACC schedule release came out yesterday, and it did you a little bit of a favor not having to fly out west for a couple of years.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's great. I'll bring it. I mean, I'm not in the weeds on all that right now, but that's exciting. Too bad I wish my man David Shaw was still there. He's one of my great friends. Love and respect him. That would have been kind of fun. But yeah, man. Hey, I'm just trying to get to Saturday. We're about Stanford. Is next year? Yeah. All right.
Dabo, I think two of y'all's touchdowns Saturday came after explosive plays. As much talk as there is, justified talk as there is about turnovers and all that, how much does it help when you get a big play to sort of confidence-wise?
It helps a lot because it helps you be efficient. It helps your run game. There's a lot of things that helps. I mean, and we missed, oh my gosh. I mean, we hit the big play to Stellato. Couldn't have had a better call. I mean, what a great design by Garrett there. And you know, we get a holding call. That's a 30-plus yard gain right there. That ball's going over to the other side, right out of the gate. And, you know, it's kind of been 2023 for us. And, you know, Bo's competing and fighting. I mean, he held him. He didn't have to. I mean, the guy's not going to make the play. So we get a hold. It gets negated. And then we had another one, 3rd and 5. They bring pressure. And we changed the presentation, similar play, but we changed the presentation up and we brought Bo, and it's basically a crack screen behind the line, and it's really hard. And that one's going to go for about 40. And Cade just he's just got to get it over the guy, and he just kind of, wasn't as poised as he needed to be right there with some duress and just make the little throw. And so we've missed some opportunities, just some, it's missed plays, missed opportunities. We drop a 3rd and 5, that's probably going to go for 10, 15, 20 yards. So just a lot of missed opportunities. And but yeah, consistently what we need to do. We made some plays. I mean, dudes are making some gritty plays. I mean, Cade was, what was he? Was he like 33 of 51 or something like that? I don't know, 65%. I mean, a lot of tight coverage, a lot of gritty plays. There were some good plays, but just some missed plays that definitely creates rhythm, creates efficiency, etc. So definitely, part of it.
Coach, their safety Watts leads the nation in interceptions, 2 picks in each of the last 2 games. I guess Cade's going to have to know where number 0 is at all times.
Oh yeah, him and 2. Two's a hitter. 2, you better know where he's at. That guy is physical, and he's been there forever too. I don't even know, was he a graduate? He's been there a long time. Good player. Both these corners, I think, are elite. Really, really elite players. Linebackers are big-time players. I mean, again, just a really experienced group, but and they're not hard to find. This is a group that lines up and challenges you, and you got to be able to accept the challenge. And it'll come down to a few plays. Can't help them. Last year, we have 2 pick sixes. I think 1 pick 6, and the other one went to the 1 or whatever it was. So 2 pick 6s and a block punt for a score. We really never had a chance in the game. So this is a team that you can't do that, and we've got to. That's kind of been the story of our season with the turnovers, and so we got to find a way to not help these guys. But at the same time, you just got to go play, got to go battle and compete, and see if we can find a way to win the game. We're good enough, that's for sure.
Coach, red zone approach against NC State, we saw Cade under center a little bit more, and Phil scored 2 one-yard TDs. Are you expecting to use Phil more on the goal line as the season goes along?
We've used him on the goal line all year. I mean, starting the Duke game, he fumbled on the 1. We used him all year. But when you with Shipley out, yeah, I mean, we try to play those guys equal amount. We have respect for both those guys. I mean, Shipley's relentless, but obviously he went out of the game. So, but regardless, it's not something that we prefer one or the other. Both of them are. We got great respect for both of those guys.
Speaking of Shipley, what's his status right now, you think?
Day to day.
Moving Tristan to right guard, obviously feel good about calling it left tackle. What have you seen from him there that makes you have him there kind of more permanently?
Well, I mean, we're just trying to get the best 5 on the field. I mean, we've played, I guess, 9 or 10 guys this year, and losing Parks, you lose a starter, so now you've elevated, and then we've had, a little inconsistency at right guard. That was kind of showed up a couple of times, and so we just felt like that our best 5 were the ones that started last week, where we are today, and we felt like Tristan was the guy to move in there, and he really, like I said, he was a bright spot in the game. He did a pretty good job, especially for a guy that, with all that they do, he held his own really well. He's long. He's a physical kid, and he'll continue to play tackle as well. But we just felt like that was the right move for us for a few reasons. But excited about Colin. I mean, he overset a couple times and got beat inside. He can be a little aggressive, which I'd rather have that as a attribute than the other way. But man, we think Colin Sadler and Blake Miller are 2 elite players. Blake is a little further along because he obviously played a lot last year. Colin was hurt and sick and missed all that time, but he's got a bright future. He's made of the right stuff. He's a little bit like our quarterback. We're gonna have a few growing pains with him, but he's made of the right stuff. We're gonna win a lot of games with Colin Sadler, a lot of games with Blake Miller. Marcus Tate has been pretty steady for us, all year. Putnam he's just a rock. I mean, you notice him when he makes a bad play because he don't make many. So he's just steady as they come, and then we've just been a little inconsistent at right guard. So trying to create some consistency there was the reason for the move. And we'll see. We'll have a big challenge this week, especially with 56 and 99. Them dudes they got inside. I mean, they're really tough guys, and we got to match that.
Dabo, winning is hard, certainly, but losing is incredibly tough for a team as well. And that cannibalism is kind of natural for people. We certainly see it in your fan base. But when you're talking about these players, it's part of your job to coach them through that.
Yeah.
How does the conversation change? Because, you balance accountability and pushing each other, but remaining supportive of each other, and you have to stick together. How does the coaching change through that, and how has it kind of developed and processed this season?
Yeah, well, you try to coach all these things all the time. It's just sometimes they listen more, when you have some adversity. And honestly, we really haven't had much adversity around here in a long time, 13 years. I mean, it's been a long time since, losing a national championship is not adversity. We've won 7 out of the 8 ACC titles. Nobody feels sorry for the Tigers. We've been to 6 playoffs, 6 Final Fours. We got a couple national championships the past 7 years, and even though you have some disappointment and maybe a little failure along the way, we really haven't had much adversity, like true adversity. So, it's kind of sometimes it's healthy to have a little pruning season, if you will. Cut the crepe myrtles back a little bit. This is a healthy tree, but even healthy trees need to be pruned. This is a healthy tree that's produced a lot of good fruit around here. A lot. I've seen Clemson University change. I've seen lots of things change. I've seen lives change. I've seen 1 million wins. I've seen a lot of things. This is a very healthy tree, all right, that's produced a bunch of great fruit. But even healthy trees need to be pruned so that you can bloom back even better and produce more fruit. And that's what we'll do, and that's kind of where we are. I mean, because sometimes things happen that you can't explain. Sometimes you get the break, sometimes you don't. I can tell you this, we really have not had true adversity since 2010. We really haven't. Like real football adversity, like for real. All right? People are learning, hopefully will relearn how hard it is to win. Because again, as I said last night, I think when you win so much, you can lose appreciation for how hard it is to win. And it's the same thing, because all that stuff will creep in. You're always talking about inside out, creep in. And so even though you're always coaching and teaching and trying to instill things, it's just kind of an irony of life, right? Like sometimes you grow the most when you're pruned, when you suffer. Right? That's why God tells us we should be thankful for our sufferings. Like, who wants to be thankful for their sufferings, right? But you grow stronger from the struggle. That's how you get stronger. I mean, I remember back 2010 very clearly. I remember it very well. The difference in 2010 and 2009 is we hadn't done anything in 2010. We had 6 wins. We hadn't done anything. And we were not near as equipped then as we are now. And I know what we've done here now, and I know what we're going to do. And what this season will do, it's going to produce some amazing fruit. Just get ready and watch what God does. I'm 53 years old, man. I've had a lot of challenges and adversities and setbacks. And again, as I said last night to my new friend, I've been a part of failure many times, but I ain't ever failed at anything that I've set out to do in my life, ever. Ever. And we're in the midst of an amazing journey in college football history, and I'm not going to let one season, when I know exactly what the issues are, and a bunch of great kids and great coaches, I'm not going to let one season damper that. And I'm going to fight for this program. All right, and hopefully we can get back to some appreciation around here. It's freaking hard to win. All you got to do is look around the country. And what's happened here is historic. And so we're having a bad year. That's my responsibility. Ain't nobody happy about it. That's my responsibility. That's on me, 100%. And I ain't asking nobody to be happy, but let's don't eat our own. And that's what we've done. Even what's happened around here is, even when we've won, everybody's miserable. And that's sad. That's really sad. And so I'm thankful for the struggle. I'm thankful for the opportunity to teach in a way that I haven't had a chance to teach in a long time. So sit back and just enjoy the journey. That's what I'd tell you.
So with that measured perspective, I think there are many people wondering what triggered last night a great deal of emotion from you.
I mean, I had some idiot go Old Testament on me, and he got an Old Testament response.
Coach, Nate Wiggins had his worst game against Hartman up at Wake last year, and he's come along.
Y'all print that one.
I was going to say, can you add to that?
Can you add to what you just said?
What else is there to add? What else is there to add? I'm going to fight for this program.
Can I get some clarity?
That's why I know coaches take calls. That's why right there. Because people hijack the phone call. They get it, that's why they want to hear themselves talk. That's why most coaches around the country don't take calls. That reason right there. They go to their, that's probably what we'll start doing next year. They go to the thing and they go, okay, Kathleen from Clemson, she wants to know, what's your favorite ice cream?
You get a call like that on the show. When you get a call like that, and then you're also getting criticism from national writers across the country, broadcasters, about what's going on with Clemson. Does that embolden you to stick to your guns the way you've always done things? Because they're criticizing your coaching staff. You need to make changes. They're criticizing
the day I got this job.
Yeah, but I mean, now, like you said, this is uncharted territory for the last 10 years. Are you more emboldened to stick to the way
13 years. 2010.
Are you more emboldened to stick with the way you've always done things?
I'm going to always do what I think is best for the player, number one. I'm going to do what's best for the long term of our program, and then I also do what's best in the moment. But that's what I've always done. Ain't nothing going to change. I know people say I don't listen to anything, I don't read anything. I really don't. I know what's going on in the world by the books that I get sent. I got a guy send me. I got 3 books on my thing this week. One said, living in the eye of the storm. The other one was, I've screwed up, now what? I don't even remember, it's like, that's what's, so I always know what's going on in the world based on the books people send me. I mean, listen, I know who I am. I know whose I am. I've never flinched, and I ain't gonna flinch now. And I'm sitting here not because I've listened to all the people, all the criticism, all the people that want me to do this, hire this guy, hire that guy, hire that guy. If it don't work, I ain't got nobody to blame but myself. But I'm going to always do what I'm convicted in. And some people say I'm stubborn, and I say I'm convicted in my beliefs. And there ain't enough people that are convicted in their beliefs, in my opinion. But, that's another topic for another day.
When you talk about appreciation or expectation exceeding appreciation, are you referring to the 1.5% that you referred to 2 weeks ago, or are you referring to the general average Clemson fan?
No, I'm talking about the loud minority. I mean, most of our fans are amazing. They really are. They really are. But it's the loud minority that really have no clue how hard it is. And again, we've won so much. And then listen, that can creep into your players too, right? I mean, because it's that rat poison of how good you are and what you're supposed to do and this and that, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go the way you want. It can creep in both ways. So you're always trying to fight against that. Just like now, it's all all the you got to block that stuff. That's part of it. You've got to be able to do that, and this is a great opportunity to teach. But listen, I've said many times. I've had people ask me many times, "Hey, what's so special?" And I've always said the difference in Clemson and a lot of places is that some places it is all expectation, and here there is an appreciation. There really is, and I've got great appreciation for our fans, and because they're amazing. I mean, it's amazing what we have here at Clemson. But a lot of the people that do all the complaining, they're just part of the problem. I mean, they really are. I mean, why would? I mean, geez. I mean, why, if you're a recruit sitting out there, why would you? These people just they rip your coaches. Everybody's terrible. It doesn't matter what you've done. Like it doesn't matter. But everybody can have a bad moment. I mean, name a coach, name a program in basketball, football, whatever, who hasn't had a challenging time. Is there one? Is Coach K, would he be considered one of the best basketball coaches? Did he have a few bad years along the way, maybe? Maybe didn't make the tournament. I don't know. About Roy Williams. Did he have any bad years? How about Nick Saban? Has he had any bad years? I mean, he's 72 now. He's probably had a few bad years at Michigan State, LSU, Toledo maybe. I don't know. He hadn't had many at Alabama. And I just think sometimes, again, and that's what I've always tried to fight against. I've always tried to fight against that, man. Don't let the expectation become greater than the purpose of what you do. Because when that happens, you lose your joy in what you do. That doesn't mean you have to be happy, all right? I mean, but I've always said the fun is in the winning. And it's gotten to a point. That's why this is a good reset. It's a good pruning for everybody, all right? Because it's gotten to a point here that even when you win, people are miserable. So now the fun's not in the win. The relief is in the winning. Shouldn't be a relief to win. It ought to be fun to win. And I know where Clemson was 15 years ago. I know right where it was. And what's happened in this program is historic. And what will continue to happen if we can get out of our own way, and I'm talking about us here in the program here, what's going to continue to happen. So it's hard. When you're taking everybody's best shot for 12 plus years, I mean, it's hard. And listen, we've done a great job. There's not many people that have been as consistent as coaches or as a program in our world. It's very few walking the planet. So it's been great, man. We've had a great opportunity to teach a lot of lessons, and this will be another great opportunity. There's opportunity in every single difficulty that you have in life, and this is a great opportunity for us to teach, for us to all reset, and then let's get back to the work, man. I mean, I've said that when I got this job, you got to be all in. And we got too many people half in. They're in when you win.
Has Cade created kind of some pressure himself holding on to the ball a little too long?
Yeah, I mean, he's had, like I said, he's had a bunch of good plays. He's had a few tough plays along the way. He's growing. He's growing. I mean, I think this kid's going to be amazing. And it's disappointing again when we attack these kids, these people that sit behind these microphones and these things, and they get off by attacking people. And we've just made that acceptable in our world. It's sad, man. It's just sad. We've made it acceptable and okay to just attack people. It's sad. I mean, it really is. This kid works his butt off. He's not perfect. He's growing. I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. He ain't right now. But he's a hell of a competitor. And he's going to get better and better and better. And I'll go battle that dude any day of the week. Yeah, he's got to do a lot better. There's a couple of plays there that he needs to make. Needs a little bit more poise in the pocket. Needs to let it slow down a little bit. But we all need to do things better. But he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Why don't we get behind him and support him? He's our freaking quarterback. He's our quarterback. Let's get behind him. Let's go compete.
Dabo, you kind of started to go there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you care less about people attacking you, and it's that they're attacking these kids, these players, and I hate to bring it back here, but fans are the first to say well, they're paid now, so now they're professional athletes, and now with all of, and it's just that side of it that I think I kind of hear from you is the extra frustrating part about this, that they're attacking kids.
And I don't care if they are pro athletes. I don't care if it's a pro athlete. I still don't think it's acceptable to destroy people. People make a living by just attacking people. It's sad. And I don't think that's okay. I don't care if it's, I don't even know. Trevor Lawrence playing for the Jaguars right now. I don't care. I don't care what he's paid, man. I don't think you're still human beings, and I still think there's a way to have fair criticism without, just completely demeaning someone's humanity, which is now the clickbait society that we live in, and it's acceptable. I think that's sad. The adults have left the building in this country. I don't participate in it. I think if you're miserable, it's your own fault. I stay away from that crap. I don't deal with it. Stay away from it.
Coach, you mentioned Tyree made the transition from running back to receiver. He had an incredible punt return in the last game. He's got to really have to wrap up, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a running back, playing wide out. When he gets that ball, he knows what to do. He breaks tackles. He's got good vision. He's got collision balance. He's strong. He's a good player. That was a good move. It was a good move for him. And they're loaded at back. They got several guys, but it starts with that number 7.
Cade's poise, trying to grow his poise in the pocket. Where is that in relation to the reads he's making? Are you seeing the improvement?
Yeah, he's got a great feel. He sees it. There's been a few plays where, I wish he'd have maybe either processed it a little quicker or maybe come off. But he really sees it. He's got a great feel for it. He really does. And this kid is as smart as they come, and again, he's hyper competitive. He's our best chance to win. There ain't no doubt about it. And we've been in position to win every single game. As horrible as we are, we've been in position to win every single game. And we could just, again, we're going through it's a tough year. It's a tough year. And that's my job to get us, back where we want to be, and we will. We will. We have a lot of good years. Got a long way to go.
Coach, tomorrow is All Saints Day, 15-year anniversary of your first win up at Boston College. Is that always a special time for you to reflect on?
What did you say it was?
15-year
All
anniversary.
Saints Day?
All Saints Day, November 1st.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a Catholic school you beat too.
Okay, well, there you go.
You know that this week.
Hey, I need an All Saints Day. Yeah, I guess that is. That was a good day. It was a good day. It was an amazing start to where we are. We had a lot of adversity back then, I can tell you that. And there wasn't many people sitting here in this room that thought I'd get the job. That's for sure. And you probably definitely wouldn't think I'd still be here 15 years later.
No comment.
But anyway, that was a cool moment. Appreciate you reminding me of that. You've been the glass half full guy here lately. I need one of them. Thank you for that.
You ever seen ads on your show before last night?
Probably. I don't know. Probably have.
Yes.
I've said a lot worse. Certainly not perfect. That's for sure. I'm far from it.
It's in the Bible.
There you go. I've said a few not in the Bible. Not proud of it, but thankful I've got a God that forgives me.
Some clarity on this pruning you're talking about. Is there any pruning that you think you need to do?
Me?
Yeah.
In what regard?
I'm just curious. You mentioned
I'm trying to shed a few pounds. I've pruned about 7-8 pounds off of me. I got a few friends I need to prune. I've got some pruning to do. Yeah, I think that's all. Makes us all better. Like I said, that's just. I think the struggle brings out the best in some. It brings out the worst in others. And it's honestly, I've I've always just embraced it. And when things don't go my way, I lean on my faith. And I know some of y'all get tired of me mentioning my faith, but I'm sorry, you know. I mean, Jeremiah 29:11, it's God's plan, man. It's not mine. And anytime I've been pruned in life, I've come back better. You know, God took me out of coaching. I didn't like it. We got pruned in 2000, December of 2000, my last game in Alabama, and all of a sudden couldn't get a job. And, you know, I got taken out of coaching. I mean, 8 years of coaching. I know everybody thinks I was just a real estate agent and then came to Clemson. But 8 years of coaching, it's all I'd ever done. And then all of a sudden I can't get a job. And we're all fired, and I got 2 little kids and a mortgage and student loans, and you know, I got to go to work. And so, but God, that was an 18-month pruning process. And, you know, I didn't like it, but God, you know, even though I was producing good fruit, you know, again, even healthy trees need to be pruned. And so you can produce more fruit. And those 18 months out of coaching helped me bloom back better than I ever was. Made me a better coach. I think made me a better father, better husband. Gave me a much deeper appreciation for, you know, the privilege of being able to lead young people, the grind, 2-a-days, you know, meetings, long night, late nights. You know, it gave me clarity. It gave me clarity of what I really knew I wanted to do with my life. It gave me complete clarity of what I was called to do. And then God brought me here. You know, and so, you know, again, I've just experienced too many times in my life. Again, I'm 53. There's a lot of these guys have not. I mean, this is, again, I've had many times in my life where it didn't go the way I wanted, and I was mad, angry, frustrated, you know, disappointed. But then time goes and God's plan is revealed, and it's the best thing ever happened to me. And I look back and I'm like, man, thank you, God. I mean, I'm just so thankful. So thankful that it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And then I look back, and again, I'm thankful for all the things in my life. I mean, again, the things that were the greatest struggles and liabilities in my life were my greatest assets in life today. The things that I literally like hated as a kid, struggles that I had to deal with, things that we all go through at times and you question why. I mean, I wouldn't change any of that now because it really, but I've got a clarity and I have a different perspective, you know, and that's my opportunity and my responsibility to not let this moment slip by without really teaching a bunch of young hearts and souls who are really hurting because something in life hasn't gone the way they want. Something that they love, something that they've worked really, really hard for has not gone the way they planned it. And so it's a great opportunity for me to teach, and I take full advantage of that. I relish that. And again, you try to do it all the time, but the soil's fertile right now. And, you know, that's my responsibility.
Sorry to keep shifting to Notre Dame, but they like to run a lot of rub routes down near the end zone with stays. Is that pretty familiar for you guys?
Oh yeah, a bunch of bunch sets, a lot of bunch sets, and you know, again, they'll give you some really tough presentations because the run game and then the boots and stuff will come out of it, and then Hartman is really, he's poised in the pocket, you know, as far as getting him on the perimeter and you know, creating some of that stuff. I mean, disguising off the runs. He's a good faker. He's really takes a lot of pride in his fakes. I mean, but he's at that point in his career where he's, you know, he's like calculus 2, right? And so just the little nuances of the position are very natural to him right now. But yeah, we got to do a great job of communicating, you know, passing things off, IDing what we're doing, because we will definitely see some rub routes and a lot of misdirection.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Hey, Dabo, David with ESPN. You talked a lot today about sort of looking back at adversity, and I was wondering, when you kind of compare where Cade was, the interception he threw against Notre Dame last year was probably not one of his favorite moments from his career, but you know, when you kind of compare where he was then to where he is now, how much difference do you see in him as in growth and as a player, quarterback, leader, that kind of thing?
I mean, night and day. Night and day. And that, I mean, and after that, we put DJ back in, and I think he ended up going like 27 or 39. I mean, we actually did some good stuff after that point, but up to that, it was pretty bad. But it was a tough situation for him right there, and he's just more prepared. He's just more prepared. He's way more knowledgeable. He's bigger and stronger. He's still got some work to do there. He's very confident in himself and his ability, and he's just got to. I mean, he's just progressed. He's still got some levels to go, but he's definitely way ahead of where he was in that moment last year.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, I think mentioned.
I'm sorry, David. I was going to say the other thing. He really hasn't put the ball in jeopardy much. That's something I'm proud of him. I know he sailed one. Kind of had a guy barreling down on him the other day, and he kind of sailed one that Brenny was open, but he really has not put it in jeopardy a lot. He had the one bad. Was it Charleston Southern? He's outside of that. He's been a guy that's had some. He's not thrown a ton of interceptions until Chapel, brought it up. But he's been pretty decisive and pretty in command, and again, not putting the ball in jeopardy in the passing game. So I think he's grown a lot in that area, because that was a boot to the left and tried to throw back, and it was a tough play for us.
You mentioned in your discussion earlier too about you have an idea, or what you think has gone wrong this season. I'm wondering if you would mind elaborating on that. I don't know if you need to give away state secrets or anything like that, but if you kind of identify where things maybe have not gone the way you'd like this year, there's 2 or 3 things that jump out to you.
Well, let's just, number 1, we are last in the nation in fumbles. Number 2, we're last in the nation in fumbles. And number 3, we're last in the nation in fumbles. It's all about the ball. And yet we got a double overtime loss, and then, all right, I'll give you number 4. Because of where we've had the missed plays, we're last or near last in red zone scoring. And so there you go. Right there. I mean, you can just leave everything else the way it is, normal football stuff. You've got some injuries. You got some guys that maybe not played quite as much as you want. You missed a few plays, kind of normal football stuff. But let's just start right there. You're not going to win football games when you turn the ball over at least twice a game. You're not. And we've been in position to, somehow, some way, we've still had a chance to win. And that's a credit to the character and the heart and the will to win of our guys. I'm proud of that. But that's it. I mean, I think we're 4th in the country in red zone opportunities in getting there, and we're last or near the bottom in actually scoring. So that's been a problem, and everybody wants some big miraculous answer, but you're not going to win when you turn the ball over the way we have, and it's been freaky. It's been some crazy stuff that's happened, but that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, and 3 is we lead the nation in fumbles, and if we don't lead the nation in fumbles, we're 8-0. That's just the way it is. And we're having a different conversation today on Halloween. All right, we're getting treats, and today we're getting tricks. That's what we've earned.
Hey, Dabo, it's Pete at AP. A couple of non-Tyler related questions. The Notre Dame here in 2015.
Tyler is a great guy, and he just had a bad day. Like we all have bad days.
Notre Dame here in 2015. There wasn't a lot. Maybe you guys hadn't really emerged with that run yet. You were emerging. What did that game mean and that atmosphere mean, especially with all the rain coming down, for where this program has gone since then?
I mean, well, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14. We were coming off 4 10-plus win seasons at that time. We'd had plenty of big wins. I think we had beaten Virginia Tech a couple of times. We'd beaten LSU. We'd beaten Ohio State. We'd beaten Oklahoma. So I think we were in a pretty good spot. We weren't perfect, though, but we were in a position where I think we were just trying to put our head down and keep working and getting better. And that year, hey, we went 14-0. And that was one of those years we kind of caught a lot of breaks and went our way. And then the difference in that year and this year, and this is what people that don't do this for a living really understand, is especially in this outside-in world that everybody lives in today, is how critical a little momentum and confidence is early. It's critical. And so that was a momentum game, right? I mean, it was a game that just fueled us. It was a hurricane. I mean, they might have been top 5. I can't remember. Sixth in the country. It was a moment is one of those games, like this year, the Clemson Florida State game, right? I mean, we never trailed in the game until overtime, and we get the one turnover, difference in the game, miss a simple kick, had a chance to stop them one time, didn't stop them. So it's a couple plays, but when you win a game like that, it just creates a ton of confidence. It creates a ton of momentum, even though the same problems are there. The narratives are different, the noise is different, et cetera. And next thing you know, confidence breeds confidence. Momentum is a powerful thing. And that particular game just it was a gritty, hard-fought game, and we made one more play than they did, and it gave us a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence. And, man, boom, we took it. And, and to be able to do it over and over and over again, year after year after year after year after year, it's incredible. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. And I'm really, that was really one of my favorite memories. That moment, it was awesome. The valley was packed. I mean, you couldn't. I remember third quarter, you couldn't even see across the field. But it was a momentum game, and we haven't. That's the one thing we haven't been able to do this year. We've had chances to get momentum. I mean, again, we had 500 yards in the Duke game. And I don't know, we were unbelievable on third down. We did so many good things, but we had the ball first and goal on the 1. 4 trips inside the 10, we get nothing. And so those would have been momentum opportunities just within that game. And then the same thing, you overcome that, you get to the Florida State game, a chance to create a little momentum, and we just and so then you don't win it, it's the opposite, right? It's a ton of noise, it's a ton of negativity, fire all the coaches, fire all the players, everybody stinks, and it's a fine line. But that's the world we live in, and so momentum and confidence is huge, and that's what that did for us. And then again, we had an opportunity, the Miami game, couldn't quite get it, so we've never been able to quite get the momentum that I think helps you. And so then all of a sudden, again, you start playing tight, you start pressing, and it's you're in a fight, and you either gonna fight back or you're gonna lay down.
Got time for one more.
Also,
go ahead, Pete.
On your defense I think is top 10 in yards allowed this year. The red zone and scoring numbers don't quite match up to that. Is it just because of the bad spots that they've had to start from in some cases this year? How does that, is there a different mentality?
Well, let's start with all the offensive points that we've given our defense. Let's start with that. How many points has the offense scored for the other team? A bunch. There you go. So that's 21 points right there. And then we gave them one on the 1 yard line. So that's 28. Good luck, boys. Go get them. So our defense is good enough to have won it all this year. Fact. And that's disappointing. But we're a team. We're all in it together. But our defense, I'm really proud of those guys. Man, Wes has done an amazing job. And, you can't ask those guys, just like last week. I know we had 2 plays, but, they gave up 17 points. That's enough to win. That's enough to win. And, we can't ask them to be perfect right now. And, again, even though we've had all the turnovers, when you have that type of deal, you got to compensate somewhere. And we've had a chance to still make one more stop or one more play. But in totality, our defense is good enough they were good enough this year to be a Final Four team. And if you can be a Final Four team, anything can happen. And, that's saying that's a shame because it is, as I said, it's kind of a season of what could have been. But we can't worry about that. We got to find a way. We still get a chance, whether we were 8-0 or we're 4-4. We're going to play this game, and if you're a competitor, you want to go play your butt off and compete to win. So we'll get a chance to. We'll learn a lot these next 4 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, we're going to learn a lot about a lot of people. A lot to learn about our team, and we'll see how these guys going to fight, man. It'll be good. But Wes and the staff, man, they've been a heck of a defense all year, and it's a shame that we haven't been able to take care of the ball better and reward them. Because if we didn't lead if we were just 50th in the country in fumbles, we'd be having a different conversation today. It's really that simple. I know everybody wants some narrative and drawn out. It's that simple.
In your mind, when it comes to the fans,
Last question here.
In your mind, where do you draw the line between fair criticism of a team and a program versus lack of support, not giving the fair support?
I think it's pretty easy to see where that line is. Fair criticism is fair criticism. I got no problem with that. I mean, no issues with that at all. I mean, that's the world we live in. But when it's hateful and personal and demeaning, especially to the kids on this team, I mean, if you can't figure that out, then I got no answer for you. And that's the problem. We don't, as a society, we don't know where that line is anymore. You know why? Because there ain't no line. And that's just, it's sad. There's no line anymore. There's none. It's sad.
All right.
Criticism is warranted. We're 4-4. This is freaking Clemson. All right, we've built ain't nobody happy. And this is one of the greatest programs in the history of college football. What's happened here these last 12 years. And ain't nobody going to ever change that. That's what we've done. And we've beaten the best of the best to do it. 6 Final Fours, that ain't ever going to happen again. I don't think it'll ever happen again. We'll see. Time will tell. But I know this, I got a long way to go. I got a long way to go in this profession. And, I'm going to fight like crap to if they want me back here, I'll fight like crap to get this place back to the standard. This is a bad year in the midst of an amazing journey that we've had, and I'm not going to let anything steal my joy of what I do. I have a lot of joy in my job. I have a lot of joy in what I do. Doesn't mean I'm happy, but I have a lot of joy in what I do. And I'm not going to let winning become a relief. I'm not going to allow that to happen. And so the fun should be in the winning. And if it gets to where it's not fun anymore, then hey, we'll go from there.